2023 marks 50 years since Disney released their adaptation of Robin Hood. Seeing as how my channel has a bunch of these Disney reviews on big anniversaries, let's talk about this one. Disney had been in kind of a rough patch in the years since Walt Disney's passing in 1966. This is a movie that I'm sure Disney was hoping would pull them out of the gutter. And this is, I'm sure, the first and only Disney movie to actually substitute in what usually would be human characters with animomorphic life forms. Prince John being this very prissy lion, the Sheriff of Nottingham is a wolf. Just to kind of give you a few ideas. When evil Prince John deputizes the Sheriff of Nottingham to collect unreasonable taxes on the animals of Sherwood Forest, it's up to Robin, Little John, and the other merry men to wage a lighthearted battle against their evil foes, all while robbing from the rich to give to the poor, and Robin Hood becomes a local hero looking to win this archery contest to win the heart of the lovely Maid Marian. If you're familiar with Robin Hood, you kind of know the drill. Now, like I said, it's very, very clever what they do in terms of the animal counterparts of these characters. Again, I love the fact that Robin Hood is a fox. I love the fact that this guy is sneaking around to steal from the royalty who usurps the rightful ruler. And he's a pretty basic, pretty likable hero with a nice little romance thrown into the mix. Maid Marian is a very good character in her own right, and she has a lot of very sweet moments in this film. Although I feel like she kind of disappears by the time the third act actually starts. Like, they couldn't give her, like, one more little scene to kind of build up her romance with Robin Hood a little more. Little John is a very lovable sidekick, big gigantic muscle of the group, who's voiced by Phil Harris, also voicing Baloo in the Jungle Book a few years prior to this. And yeah, his design will play into something I kind of want to talk about later. In terms of characterization, easily the villainous characters are the ones who steal the show. The Sheriff of Nottingham in particular is such a bastard. You want to talk about sneaky thieves? He's stealing tax revenue from blind people in this. That is just disgusting. Although Prince John, I feel like, is what most people remember about this adaptation. He's voiced by Peter Ustinov in here, and this is one of the more overlooked comedic Disney villains, if you ask me. He gets into a lot of arguments that feel like an old married couple with his sidekick Hiss. And God, the fact that he's tying Hiss up in knots as a form of punishment is just like, again, it's like little freaking bastard that you just can't help but want to see Robin Hood beat up. No. And I gotta admit, when this movie picks up in the action department, it's really fun. And that's a huge advantage this movie has with being animated, because you can go practically all out. Not saying you can't go all out in a live action version of Robin Hood, but I mean, let's face it, the last time they tried to go all out with a live action version of Robin Hood didn't really work. But this is animated. You can throw slapstick in there if you want to kind of placate the kids. You can throw in some exciting, thrilling, swashbuckling, sword-fighting action. In a sense, you can pretty much let your imagination run wild. And I feel like that's exactly what these animators were trying to do. But on the flip side to that, yeah, let's address this. Like I said, like I mentioned at the top of this review, Disney was very much knocking at death's door, especially when their founder tragically passed away. So these executives kind of had to make some very, like, it's haunting. It's haunting. I'm saying this right now. They had to make some budget cuts. Not going to get into that right now, but I mean, it's ugh. And you can absolutely sense it. There's a lot of recycled animation ideas thrown into Robin Hood from previous Disney installments. Just put Baloo and Little John side by side. Put aside the fact that Phil Harris voices both of these characters. These characters are designed pretty much exactly the same, just different color bears. And the dance sequence in Sherwood Forest, while fun and lighthearted, you can tell right away that there are so many animated sequences that were taken directly from old Disney movies. The Jungle Book is again referenced with Little John dancing in the forest. Looks exactly like when he's dancing with King Louie, like, oh my god. And even with Maid Marian dancing with a lot of the merry men, Maid Marian is pretty much following the exact footsteps of Snow White in that classic silly song sequence from 1937. Even when she's sitting there clapping and listening to the music, oh man, it is exactly the same. It's like, part of me kind of gets why they did it this way, but like, come on. 50 years later, you can certainly tell. So even though this movie definitely does have its problems and its recyclable elements are just too difficult to ignore, you cannot unsee it. Once you start noticing that, like, it's over. I don't think Robin Hood is a horrible Disney movie by any stretch. I actually think if you have little kids, they will definitely find themselves enjoying it. It's a very fun action, adventure, family-oriented feature, with a lot of really exciting action, lots of really cool archery ideas that are thrown in. And my goodness, the whole climax of this version of Robin Hood, I feel like that's worth the price of admission by itself, because a good majority of this whole plan starts off in relative silence. Lots of coin being manipulated out Prince John's bedroom window all while he's sucking his thumb, which is very funny. But my god, once their cover's blown, it is just nonstop action. And there is so much being thrown at this main character, and it just feels like he has to overcome every obstacle to get what he wants. I mean, that's filmmaking 101. You just have to throw every obstacle your hero's way in order to have a riveting story. And man, I was invested in that climax even on a rewatch. I was really getting into it. So, albeit not a perfect Disney movie, still definitely serviceable for what it is. I'm gonna give Robin Hood a B-. Definitely not in the upper echelon of Disney's classics. Far from the worst, though. Let me know what you think of this adaptation down in the comments section below. And let me know what you think the best Robin Hood adaptation is. For me, nothing beats Kevin Costner, 1991, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham. Can't touch that. Again, even though Kevin Costner does not attempt an English accent whatsoever. But guys, I love discussing all things in movies and entertainment on the regular. If you're new, do become a subscriber and tap on that like button as well. Really helps continue to grow this awesome community that we already are. And guys, stay tuned for more videos very soon. Look forward to my reviews of Barbie and Oppenheimer, which both come out this weekend. I'm not going to be watching them both the same day. I'm going to be watching Barbie on Thursday, Oppenheimer in IMAX on Friday. Again, like, I'm so freaking excited. July 21st. This is a day I was waiting for this year. Should be a freaking blast, guys. So with all that being said, back talk commence.